Cool. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first in what we hope is a long series of customer webinars. We did have a previous customer success series, so this is just kind of a variation on that to give existing customers a flavour of, I suppose, how they can get the most out of their digital commerce solutions. So we will be covering WebShop, Sales Rep app, Pocket Shop, Punch Out, all the various products on the platform across the series, and helping you, I suppose, sell smarter, as our motto tends to go. So I'm looking at a lot of the names. I know a lot of you, but if you don't know me, I'm Lyndsey Turner with our sales team, working with originally Afix, now Experlogix, the past 7.5 years, and I'm joined by Neno, which you all probably know, but I'll let him speak for himself.
Morning, everyone. Great to see you all. I'm a product specialist in the company as a part of the product team. So anything that's to do with new feature rollouts, strategic roadmap items, as well as listen to some of your feedback on how to improve the product, make it easier for you to be more successful with our products. I'm here to listen to these suggestions, take them on board and bring them forward.
Thanks, Neno. We're just going to start with just a few quick, hopefully you can all see my screen. I think you can. Just talking you through in general what marketing features are on the platform, where you find them, what is, I suppose, free for you to use, what is an add-on, etc., just to make that kind of clear piece. And then Neno has a variety of examples and various ways to set it up. So it is a 30-minute webinar, and we do want to keep it to that, and we're probably the two chattiest people in the business, so we're going to do our best. But yeah, it'll be quite high level, but we'll be sending on lots of documents and leave behinds for you, so you can assess it. But it's quite self-explanatory. It's just really making you aware where all this is and how you can use it. Cool. So what we're going to cover is the App Store, which is really the starting, I suppose, my theme here of being very smart. That's how you're going to start smart, with the App Store. Then we're going to walk you through some of the free tools, show you some customers how they're using those really nicely and where you can find those. And I think we're going to set up one of them on the fly, Neno, maybe reviews or something, onto our demo system. Live chat, I think, is probably one of the most common things people want to set up, and we'll talk you through a little on that. We've a new customer using WhatsApp, which we didn't even know you could do. So yeah, there's lots that you can do, and a lot of you are cleverer at us than doing it. So it's just really making you aware of all these possibilities if you're not. And then we will also talk you through and show you some examples of our digital marketing pack, which is, I suppose, how you bring it to the next level. So lots you can do for free, but if you do want to level up as such, you're able to do that with the smart packs that we have. So this is the App Store. We will be using this throughout the demo and the webinar, but this is in the back end. You should all hopefully be familiar with the management interface. You're using it on a daily basis to manage your digital commerce products. But if you don't know, we'll show you how to navigate to that. And it's really a place where you can self-configure additional features and tools, things like payment gateways, analytics, security, cookie scripts you can see there, and a lot of these third-party and built-in marketing features. Most of them, there's a little tag to say whether they're free or premium. The majority of them are absolutely free for you to go ahead and use. And then we do have our smart packs in there that you're able to see some information and read more about in terms of add-ons. We will look at the marketing smart pack today, but there is other ones in terms of kind of industry specific functionality across different industries, like building supplies, spare parts, electrical wholesale, that kind of stuff. So they're kind of added packaged up kind of specific features for industries or marketing that we have. The free marketing tools we're going to look at today, I think I'm probably missing some here as well, but there's lots that you can do on WebShop for free. You can set up reviews either through reviews.io or Trustpilot. There's apps there in the App Store for you to self-configure those. You obviously need accounts with any of these third-party add-ons, but then you can easily and quickly add them into the site. I've also seen someone doing Google reviews. I think they're doing that through the Google Tag Manager. And the Google Tag Manager is an app there where you can do absolutely no end of things we probably don't even know you can do. So things like WhatsApp and pop-ups and live chat. Google Analytics, a lot of you will be familiar with. You can use those as well. Set up forms and things like Woohoo, HubSpot. newsletter sign-ups for MailChimp, payment gateways. There's a huge pile of them in there that you can self-set up. There is some kind of premium ones kind of around what would you call it? Or not subscriptions, like home finance, I think is the one where you can, you know, what's the word I'm looking for, Neno? Spread the cost, sorry, which is dangerous for me when I'm shopping online. I don't want to be offered the home. And then Service Desk, which is our own app around customer service, is also in the App Store, and it's free for you to turn on and off. We won't get to show you everything that's on here, but they are in the App Store, and we will share documents on how to find out more, and obviously you can reach out to us if it's not clear. And then we are going to look at the digital marketing smart pack, which is really I suppose taking this to the next level. You're able to, it's effectively integration with 3 different platforms. Not everyone uses all of the platforms that has the pack. They may want to simply sell on Google Shopping, and they're using the pack in that way, so they're able to automate their catalog to the Google Merchant Center. We'll give you a little look at that as well today, or some examples. Klaviyo, which is a marketing automation platform specifically for e-commerce. So you're able to do things like abandoned cart emails, but really target, be just a bit clever in who you're targeting based on the behavior that they're doing, setting up, emails to tell them something's back in stock and letting them sign up for those, or, they visited this page on the website, send them this email with these products. And again, your product catalog is fed into that as well. So you're not having to manage that product data in multiple places. And then, it's really a way to help you reach new markets and retarget customers who've been on the site. And it isn't just, I suppose, sometimes with a lot of this marketing stuff, a lot of our customers are B2B. We're seeing more and more this being used in the B2B space. It isn't specifically just for retail or B2C spending. You do want to make sure your B2B customer comes back if they've added something to the cart. Maybe it's a little longer. They might leave it in the cart a bit longer typically because they're building up an order, but you get to really target all of that and create that behavior based marketing. And then Flockler is the third element of the digital pack, where you're able to have a social media feed from your various platforms, X or Twitter, whatever it's called, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. So we'll show you how that is set up on the demo site as well. Cool. Let me just jump out of there. So I'll start here, Neno, and then with the App Store, and then hand over to you in terms of the getting into the nitty gritty, as you like to call it.
No problem.
Cool. So this is, you should all know what this is. It's the management interface. This is where you manage the web shop. Anyone in marketing, I'd imagine, is in here quite frequently, managing content and all of that nice stuff. But down at the end here, we do have the App Store. How long is that out, Neno? Was it last couple of years?
It's over 2 years.
As a new release? Over 2 years.
Over 2 years.
It wasn't always there. So some of our legacy customers maybe missed that release note or haven't noticed it, but I'd imagine you have. And you have all those kind of apps that I've mentioned, and you can see whether they're free or whether you have them activated or not. I have Service Desk activated here. That's the kind of customer service one I mentioned. And then you have, my little toggle doesn't want to go down. Then you have things like payment gateways, all sorts of lovely things. There's the reviews we mentioned, things around security as well, single sign-on. And then there's the kind of, you'll see anyone with the premium on it are part of the smart pack range. So have a, I suppose, first point of call when you get off this, have a look in there if you've never been in there before. There's probably lots you can just start doing straight off the bat. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, Neno, and let you take over.
Sure. Thanks so much. 2 seconds.
No problem. I should have mentioned at the start while Neno's sharing, there is a Q&A section. If you want to put any questions in there, we'll try and have enough time to cover them at the end. If not, we know where you are. We'll come back to you directly, but hopefully we can cover a few questions because they'll be very relevant, I'm sure. So it's the up the top bar, you should see a Q&A with a little speech bubble and a question mark. Just pop the questions in there and I'll keep an eye on them, Neno.
Excellent. Thanks, Lyndsey. So we're going to go through a couple of setups, high level, not getting into too much detail, but just to explain the benefits of having these tools at your fingertips through the...
Sorry to cut across you, I'm getting notifications saying content isn't visible to everyone yet. Bring it on screen when you're ready for attendees to see it. But I think you have toggled it across, have you, the content?
I can see it on my screen, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can try and toggle it on and off again.
I'm sure it is. It's just, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so sorry, like I said, just to highlight at a high level how easy it is to set some of these up, why they're important. Obviously, you've summarized it quite well, but as many of you know, in terms of how you run your business and how you interact with your customers, trust within that sales process is very, very important. Why do we start with things like live chat or Klaviyo or reviews and Trustpilot? Is because that's the social proof behind customers engaging with your business. It's powerful because it means that when they see that other people are giving you feedback about your customer service or your business, obviously that automatically highlights to them that you are a loyal, they can be loyal customers to yours, and that they can trust the products and the brand that you represent. So we go into the App Store here. We're going to find our app that we want to start off with. We can go up and install it, and immediately we can obviously turn it on and then add our store ID. So where do you find that information? That's obviously easy to find out online once you have your reviews account set up. Just quickly, I'm going to show you how this is set up. So you have two ways. In the integrations menu in reviews, you will find the API type.
This is the reviews.io platform. It's specific third party for reviews. You can do Trustpilot, as you mentioned as well. No, its name is too generic. It's just pointing that out in case it looks like a built-in reviews platform or something.
Exactly. Now, because we're on a demo plan here, because there are partners, obviously we are not going to obviously see our credentials here, but typically you as a customer, if you're on the plus plan, not the starter plan, you'll be able to see that information. Separately to that, what you can do is if you want to stay on the basic subscription and the start to see how things work, that's absolutely no problem as well. You just have to go into the publishing widgets, and then when you're ready to publish a widget, which are actually able to see when you select your style and when you're ready to publish, you can go off and get the installation code, and within that you can actually see your store ID right away. So the point behind this is very quickly, not into too much technical information, but the point behind this is that you don't actually have to be on a paid plan. You can be on the free plan to just try out these tools and figure out, do they work for you? Do you like them, etc. And how do you want to interact with customers? So as soon as you follow those steps, and as soon as you have installed Reviews.io, there are two things that you're able to do. So the first thing is on product pages, customers are able to give you some feedback regarding the product. So you can see here, I connect with the product and give it a review. And then separately to that, sorry, that's another pop-up that we're going to talk about now in a second. Separately, you can obviously write a detailed review about the product and give some feedback if you've purchased it, etc. And of course, you can set up flows with these things to review them first or moderate them so that you can validate the purchase. The customer then gets separately sent an email to actually provide the order number for that product to make sure it's legitimate, so you can correlate and associate it to it. It's not just blindly that they're going to leave in your reviews, etc.
No.
The same applies for the business as well. They can give you some feedback regarding the company, regarding the customer service. How these appeared in your, how would these appear in your dashboard in Reviews.io is in such format here, where you can go in, review whether it's about a product, whether it's about the company, and you can interact with that customer as well. Give some feedback. Of course, it's not always going to be 100%. Maybe there was an issue with delivery or delay. You can have that conversation. You can reach out to them, providing that next step for customer service. How do some of our customers operate with this? So separately from the reviews app, we also, through Visual Page Builder, we also have a reviews block. So this is on CMS pages. So what you can do with that is create a customer carousel with customer feedback if you wanted to. And some of our customers, we're going to take one of our long-time customers here on their site, and what they've done with their site is that they've published all of that information about the business, like so here, in a nice styled way. So you're given tools to style this in different widgets and different displays, and obviously once you got these feedbacks from your customers, you can display them here. So again, a very powerful tool to be able to build that social trust, social proof, show your customers what you're about, what the brand and business is, what products to sell, and what your customer service is like.
And Neno, sorry,
Sorry,
just to ask, just to clarify, so that they use our drag and drop page builder to add that reviews.io block, which is there as standard, and they decided where it went in the page, so they could have had it higher up or on any CMS page.
On any CMS page, you're absolutely spot on. Yes, you can actually just quickly maybe we'll do that as well. So if we go into our homepage, just because it's different, it's not necessarily the app that's doing this. Obviously, the app is for the product cards and the product reviews to be able to give you that feedback. But within these block sections here, you're quite familiar with this, and we ran a webinar on this before. You can actually add any type of a content block, whatever you want. So here in the third-party section, you can see you have Trustpilot, you have Flockler, you have Woofu, you have reviews. So it's just a matter of dragging and dropping this information, for example, here in the middle of the screen. And then from here, what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to add the installation code that I showed you a second ago on the reviews page, where you can drop in the code that's required to trigger that information to be shown in that dynamic format. Quite easy and simple to do. Trustpilot is very much the same as reviews.io in terms of the setup. Obviously, slightly different functions and features that it has, but the idea behind that is exactly the same. Again, the idea behind these things is that they're automated reviews for the business or the products that you sell online. And of course, the more reviews you gather, the more trust you generate, which would turn into higher sales, hopefully for you and for the business. You don't have to have it display all in any particular way on the site in the carousel or on product pages. You can just have it like a badge here. So for example, we have, and this is, so let me just get rid of this quickly, sorry, because this is for one of our other customers that we're trying to show you what they have done with Trustpilot. It doesn't have to be as highlighted on the side. If you didn't want it, it could just be like a little badge displayed on the side of the header or the footer. And what
I think we're all kind of used to seeing those Trustpilot ones on sites as well. So yeah, you don't have to have the big, all the visible things, but just the link into it. And I personally, whether it's on Amazon or anything I'm reading or any company I'm interacting at, one of my first Google searches is always, Tygo O'Connor reviews or whatever it is, or Quinn Spears. Like, I want to read about the company. It's more valuable to me what other people are saying about the products and the service, and that's how I tend to make purchasing decisions. So lots of customers will be the same. So it's really, really powerful. And if I can't find any reviews, I'm a bit like, well, it's now that's obviously in a kind of retail B2C space, but I'm sure if you're trying to target new B2B customers and you do have an open web store that they can see, if you've got a good rating, it's always a good tick in the box. Just kind of keep us on time here, Neno. We might move on to live chat and a few of those bits, just so we've enough time to go on to the Klaviyo piece, which I know we need a good few minutes for.
A couple of tabs here because we have quite a lot of stuff open.
Yeah, or maybe from the Google Tag Manager perspective and what you can do there, because that'll cover a few.
Yeah, no problem. Moving on to things like live chats and WhatsApp for customer service. So here's another example of what some of our customers have done with WhatsApp for customer service. Again, you don't have to style these things like a pop-up if you don't want them like a pop-up. If your customer's feedback is that there's too much going on the screen, it's busy, it can be annoying for some of them. Different people have different preferences, kind of depends on their feedback. You can just have it like a floating button here, and this is similar to what we've done with live chat as well, and how that's generated and what conditions exist within that. But here, a very simple setup. All I have to do is interact with this, and what will allow me to do is, obviously, if I'm on a phone, I can open this up and interact directly with the business on my phone. I'm currently on a desktop device, so I'm not going to open WhatsApp because I haven't actually installed the WhatsApp app on my laptop, so I can just enter my message in here and obviously go off and interact with the business. It's quite a handy, non-interactive way of again, not being in so much in your face, but again, effective to be able to get in touch with you.
So there's no WhatsApp app on the App Store. How do I do that?
So the way you would do that is you would go off and grab the code to be able to embed it either through our page widgets that we have. So we've opened up some of that information in our pages section. Now we are allowing you to do things like adding page elements to the head, body, start, or body end of a page. Some of you will be familiar with that stuff. If this was too much and if you didn't want to interact with the code section or the code blocks that some of these tools will generate for you, simply install Google Tag Manager or Google Analytics, which is quite simple to do again through the App Store. Enter your code, and then you can add that WhatsApp container code, is what it's called, HTML code, to Tag Manager, for example, and we'll allow it to display it directly on the site there.
That'd be the same for live chat, pop-up, any pop. So Google Tag Manager, I suppose, has a list of kind of services that you can add on through it. So in the App Store, you have the Google Tag Manager app, and there's no end of services that you can use at that, live chat, pop-ups, all sorts of stuff. Are they mainly free, or are they mainly paid? There's a bit of a mix, I'd say.
So there depends on the features that you would like to have and what way you'd like to interact with your customers. Obviously, there's a free tier with 90% of these, and you can go on trial accounts as well to figure out what features you like and what features you need. There are more and more functions that are being brought out for all of these, but obviously they're on the higher paid tiers if you wanted more functionality or AI generated prompts for certain things or higher analysis of things or whatever the case is. That will be obviously a paid tier. If you just want basic functionality to be able to interact with customers, gather their feedback, or maybe try and upsell some of them, which I'll show you now in a second how that works. There are some basic functions that you get for free with some of these things. And the great thing with most of these is that they have their own guides on how to go through Tag Manager. For example, here's how you'd install live chat with Google Tag Manager. It goes into quite a lot of detail as to how to get the installation code, where do you put in the script, etc. How do you add a new container within the Google Tag Manager? In our case, like I said, I've done something a lot simpler in my opinion, because we're allowing you to do some of this stuff directly now on pages, like I said, in our page elements menu. So what I've done here is I've actually taken the code that you typically put into Google Tag Manager, and instead what I've done is I've directly injected it into the start of our page when you land on the site. So without getting into what this is, because I know it can be quite overwhelming when people see code, so it's just the container to start live chat. So what
I told you not to show any code in live. I'm joking.
So
but you basically go into your live chat account, copy and paste that in there, essentially.
Precisely, exactly.
Simple as. Cool.
And what that allows us to do then quite easily and quickly, you can see here is now I have an interactive pop-up on the page that I'm on. Now, in this particular case, I've actually sped through a couple of steps just to talk to you about an example of something. So live chat today, it's not only a customer service tool. So initially when it started is to enable that automated customer interaction, asking a couple of questions to gather some basic feedback from customers before actually deciding based on the flows within live chats, do you now want to get in touch with customer service, which would then trigger that conversation or that query to an actual person in the company. It's not just a chatbot anymore, right? But now they've taken it actually to the next level. And what you can do within the live chat controls today is you can actually create upsell opportunities or retainer opportunities, meaning that if a customer is navigating away from the website based on particular conditions, you can actually throw out a coupon or a discount code to get them to stay on the site. So it's actually to retain them there and to complete that opportunity from a purchase perspective.
And you could do that as a pop-up as well, like doesn't have to be in the live chat. Like I know lots of our customers have pop-ups and they use Google Tag Manager or like you show on that. Cool. So just we're coming up to near 5 minutes, so just want to keep us rolling.
Just quickly through this. Here's where this stuff lives. Again, we're on a free live chat account. As I said, there are many features and functions, but it's quite simple to be able to do these things. It doesn't require a lot of high-level knowledge of how it all works. Self-explanatory. You go in, you select the styles. You can obviously modify the style similar to a visual page builder and drag and drop editor. Klaviyo does this quite well as live chat does. You can style this with different images, icons, different wording, different text, whatever you thought was suitable for the business to make it more specific to your vertical or to your particular industry or sector. And then it's just about setting conditions. how long is the customer on the page, what actions are they taking, are they navigating away from a page, are they about to exit the site, are they sitting static on the site and doing nothing. Well, then you can obviously launch some of these conditions, and of course you can style how that looks like. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a big form, it can just be a pop-up or a smaller button.
Oh,
but like
grand.
said in the, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, could we jump into the smart pack? Just we've
Yes,
4 or 5 minutes
yes,
left.
no, it's much the same. And of course, the kind of like the icing, should we say, for all of these things on top of the cake is being able to get that customer information, that customer data. And why is that important? And actually think I've closed this off now, so maybe I can't trigger it anymore. So I'm going to try and trigger it here. Famous last words, probably not going to show up for me now, because I think I triggered it from both. Yeah, there it is. Sorry. So you can have this type of style fly out sign up for newsletters, or you can obviously have that, and of course you can style these like we already said with the Klaviyo tools, similar to the visual drag and drop page builder that we have, to have it in whatever style when wording with the business and your industry that is specific to you, or you can just have it from your footer with the newsletter. So why is this important in order to engage with the customers? So there are two things that we do with that. Once you have those profiles, you can go off and create your profiles and segments in Klaviyo. And on the forms themselves, just quickly on the form, like I said, it's quite easy to edit that. You can preview what it looks like on desktop and mobile. So here's an example of that one that I just showed you. And you can obviously change the banner, add different text, add different actions, etc. So it's quite simple for someone that has little coding knowledge to be able to design these things. So you don't need a designer, you don't need a design agency. You can do this yourself and play around with it, have it in preview mode before it actually launched. So it's quite easy to control in-house.
And just to clarify, sorry, with the newsletter sign up, so we do have built-in newsletter sign up for MailChimp, which is free, but Klaviyo, I suppose, is really a step beyond that, and it's really about what not just getting that sign up, it's really watching and analyzing what they're doing on the site, where they're going, what they're clicking on, how long are they spending there, and then marketing to them accordingly, creating the relevant flows, etc. So I think abandoned cart email is probably the most obvious one of those, but there's lots of different things you can do.
Which we'll show now in a second. But again, how that information comes through is based on the email information that customers are providing once they've signed up. And it's quite granular and quite capable in terms of giving you those analytics details. And it's important because you can see exactly what's the particular person. So this is a fake email that I added here myself a couple of days ago when I was testing something. This is why it's suppressed, because obviously that doesn't exist. So it's quite clever to know whether it's an actual real email or a fake email, so you can actually based on that. But the point being here is that you can see exactly what steps I took, the price of the product that I was looking at, and how I landed on that page. And then based on that, you can obviously build out your campaigns and flows. So then why is that important? It is important because you can do stuff like you already mentioned, Lyndsey, abandoned cart reminder. So for example, I've started the cart, I didn't complete the purchasing journey. Now what do I want to do as the business? Typically that will be offering free shipping, offering a discount code in order to complete the purchase. But you can see how quickly and simple it is to actually control that flow. So here's my trigger. Started the checkout. I haven't added many conditions to this here. Added and wait a minute. Didn't complete the checkout. Will then immediately trigger that email. But you can actually build on top of that.
We don't recommend saying 1 minute, but obviously we want it to be quicker.
The demo one, of course. Absolutely.
And you mentioned that it shows the products, and we could see the product images and stuff. Just to clarify, there's an automated feed of your product catalog into Klaviyo. So when they are clicking on products, you're able to then embed those product cards on those email templates. And again, it doesn't have to be abandoned carts. They could have just looked at a particular product page or a content page or whatever it is. So you don't have to feed product information in here as part of that marketing pack. It's I suppose the flow or the sync of that product data. I think it's every 6 hours or something, is it? The catalog sends across.
Yes. Exactly.
And the same to Google Shopping. So the idea is, because I don't think we're going to get any time to look at that, but the idea is that the catalog is fed into Google Merchant Center and Klaviyo automatically, so it makes it really easy to create these marketing flows.
Exactly the way you've described it. The reason why we do that is obviously if you want to target a particular campaign in either of the two that you mentioned, based on categories or based on products or based on pricing or based on customer region or segment or whatever way you've set it up, you can do so by using the data from the catalog that was sync across automatically. In the case of Klaviyo as well, the other reason why we actually do that as well is to enable things like this here, whereby if a product is out of stock and you do not want to display a promise date, which is the future delivery date, or you do not want to display next available, which is not always reliable based on supplier information or shipping delay or whatever way you're dealing with manufacturers. The reason why this is powerful is rather than using complex calculated delivery methods or dates based on, as I said, manufacturer statuses or any other contracts you have with the people you do business with, you can simply sign up for the out-of-stock email notifications. That information will go off to Klaviyo then and create a back-in-stock customer list. You can triage that based on whatever factors you want to decide within the business, how much the customers are purchasing from you, what type of customer is it, is it a retail or is it a trade customer? And then based on that, send them notifications of when the product is back in stock. So really
I think in Klaviyo, they call it like a VIP. You can decide. So let's say 100 people sign up for that. The headphones being back in stock, but you only get 10 in. You get to decide who gets the email first and put them in priority order and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, not 100 people aren't going to get the notification and you've only got 10, because that wouldn't be very useful. And, you know, if you're not taking things on back order as well and you're not allowing them to order, it's really good that they know when it's back in stock, or even if you are, just so they have that notification.
Precisely.
I think we're spend a minute on just Flockler and Google just to show them. We only have one question in there anyway.
Cool. So Flockler again with the theme of what we've talked about so far. It's to do with highlighting what the business does, engaging with your customers in a better way, and maybe creating some public knowledge about activities that you're involved in outside of the normal day-to-day business that you run, etc. This is a real powerful way to highlight that. Here's an example of our social media feeds that we have on X, and it's just a basic carousel that you can simply copy and embed the code again into one of our blocks on the content CMS pages with Visual Page Builder. So what that allows you to do is simply display all of that information. Similar to the reviews carousel that we looked at, this is in a very similar fashion. Again, highlighting something about the business, highlighting activity, allowing customers to engage with you outside of your normal web shop, follow you online, see some of the ideas that you might give them from the way the business interacts with.
And once you have the your Flockler account, and you have that block set up, it'll automatically update that then as you're updating your social media.
The feed will automatically update. You can combine things in here. We only have X set up because it's a demo account, obviously, which you can have on Instagram, TikTok, you can have LinkedIn, whatever your platform of choice is. You can either use one or combine them all and create and combine carousels. Some really powerful tools.
Love to see some TikTok videos and some web shops. I think that would be pretty cool. Some customers here now, I think, are it would be great. I don't know how a wholesale distributor does a TikTok, but you know, I definitely think there's that's something I need to see.
And then finally,
it's the Google Shopping. Let's
just
finish
Google Shopping feeds. So similar to what we showed you in Klaviyo already, we do synchronize across the basic retail price of the product, the synced stocked availability every 6 hours, every 4 hours, whatever it is, the frequency that you want, and obviously the product data. So what that means is then when a customer is looking for something online, in this case, I've looked for a composite deck and board because I'm planning some work this summer out the back. In a patio that I'm currently enjoying myself because I fancy myself a bit of a DIY expert until I put a nail into my finger, that is.
Doesn't everybody, based on my social media.
But the point behind this is that it allows you to have this type of presence here, whereby if you've actually advertised your product online, if you're running things like AdWords and campaigns, and you have that tool, the Google Shopping feed is already activated with us, and we've outputted this information online for you. This is what is going to happen here. You're going to see that information online presented to you from the different suppliers. In this case, actually, one of our customers, Tippers, happens to be as well ranking very high online because they actually do a lot of AdWords and campaigns and do invest in marketing spend outside of the normal web shop activities. So you can see them actually, the first and the second result happens to be Dom, and they're one of our customers on web shop as well using Google Shopping. So this is great to see as well.
Great.
But I'm conscious of time, so maybe we'll
Yes.
answer some questions.
There's just one in. It's more probably a support question, but you might be, in case anyone's having the same. Michael, I can't see where Michael's from, but hi, Michael. He's just came in at the very start when we spoke about the App Store. He's not able to. He's just getting no matching results found when he's looking for the App Store. Is that something you're familiar with? We can take it offline and get in touch with Michael anyway. But
sorry to hear about that. I need to take a look at that into specific site to figure out, maybe it's a configuration thing. So maybe if we can get in touch with Michael after, we'll be more than happy to help with that. Sorry to hear about that. We'll need to take a look at it into more detail. Yeah.
So if anyone else is having the same, I've not come across that before. It just seems to be there for everyone. As an app store, I'm just, where would you be even searching for it? You don't search for it, you just scroll down, it's on the left hand side. So maybe it's how you're accessing it or something. But Michael, I'll look up what company you're in from and the email address, and we'll reach out and get you sorted with that. Everyone has access to the App Store Neno. It's not blocked or it's automatically activated. Should be there. Cool, we'll get that sorted for you, Michael. No problem at all. We only went 7 minutes over. Like normally we go about an hour over in a demo, so that's not too bad going for us too. That's good, great success, as you would say. Brilliant. Well, listen, thanks everyone for coming. It's been a great turnout, so we're delighted. We'll keep doing these. I'm not sure if we're going to do them monthly, quarterly, bi-monthly. We were just kind of doing the first one and see that, but I think probably at least quarterly, hopefully bi-monthly. But we'll keep an eye on your inbox, and on the top of the MI, the management interface, we put an advertisement up for it there as well. So any kind of new stuff there. We're going to send out an email with the video of this, with some links as well to some feature guides on how to do a lot of this stuff. But look, you have our email, so it's L Turner or N, his surname, can't say it. Karadzhov, Neno Karadzhov, Experlogix.com or via support. But most of you should be able to get us direct. And thanks a million for coming along, and we hope to see you at the next one.
Thanks everyone. Cheers.
Have a good day. Take care.
Bye.